I'm Larimar. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I would love to talk about astrology, specifically about Saturn. So it's gonna be fun, and feel free to give yourself a cup of tea or a coffee if you like, and sit back and let's talk about it. For those of you who are completely new to astrology, basically each planet in the solar system affects certain areas of our life. And Saturn is one of the most controversial planets because a lot of people say that Saturn makes things hard, gives a lot of challenges, make things difficult and delayed, and a lot of burdens and responsibilities. That is absolutely true, but I would love to dive deep into why Saturn gives challenges and how we can overcome it and what would be the rewards of going through these challenges. So actually, I've noticed that there are a lot of misconceptions around Saturn, and I personally feel that Saturn is the most important thing. Saturn actually gives the most fundamental, stable structures into your life when you follow the lessons of Saturn. So what is the lesson? So what are the lessons of Saturn? So Saturn rules discipline, self-control, strong work ethic, responsibilities, and a sense of duty and maturity. Wherever Saturn is placed in the horoscope gives you a lot of initial setbacks, challenges, and a sense of insecurity, inadequacy. In an early part of your life, for the first 30 years of your life, especially because Saturn is a slow planet. It takes almost like 29 and a half years to complete a full circle around the sun because it's located at the outer edge of the solar system. It's actually the very last planet that we can see with naked eyes. So according to ancient astrology, there are 7 planets, 7 visible planets that significantly affect our physical life experience. Because it is visible with naked eyes, the proximity, the physical proximity matters the most in ancient astrology. Whereas outer planets such as Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, they are invisible. You can't see them with naked eyes. So they reflect more of your subconsciousness, something intangible and invisible, more profound, psychological, and deeper side of you. But Saturn rules the boundary, physical boundary, rules, regulation. So to know where your Saturn is located, you need to pull up a birth chart. You can go to astro.com and put in your birth date information. And in order to know in which house Saturn is, you need to know the exact birth time. Because Saturn moves slowly, it takes about 2.5 years to pass one zodiac sign. So within that time frame, anyone born in this period of time share the same quality of Saturn, but the way it's expressed is going to be different for each individual depending on in which house Saturn is located. And perhaps that's going to be another series of Saturn through the 12 different houses. And I think Saturn is so important because that marks your karmic duties or your responsibilities. That's the major challenges that you're dealing with throughout your life. Once you tackle it down, your life gets so much easier. Saturn has such a notorious reputation, but I want to help shift your perspective if you've been holding on to this perspective. So here we go. So for those of you who haven't reached the age of 30 or 35, 36, the gifts of your Saturn haven't been activated yet. It matures later in life. And if you're watching this video and you are younger than 30, don't worry about it. Until you hit that age, you're gonna keep gaining a lot of experience, going through a lot of trials and errors, and that is part of natural process. So you don't need to really feel bad about making the same mistake and getting frustrated, disappointment regarding a specific matter of your life, because that is normal, and Saturn lessons can be learned through repetition, through hard work. And note that this is something that everyone goes through, at a varying degree though. But this is the process that we need to internalize in order to grow and become an evolved version of a human. For me personally, my Saturn is in the 5th house. And this is one of the most challenging positions to have, because the 5th house is all about pleasure, love, joy, the fun things in life, and self-expression, spontaneity, and creativity. Whereas Saturn is all about duty, responsibility, tasks, and restriction, organization, rules, boundaries of any sort. So these two opposing energies are not quite compatible with each other. So this dynamic can create uncomfortable feelings. So in an earlier part of my journey, I was very insecure and used to have a lot of feeling of inadequacy in regards to expressing myself. I rarely spoke up my voice, and I couldn't imagine doing this YouTube because I was very shy, introverted, and reserved, quiet. Like that's what all of my peers, friends, and colleagues used to perceive me. So I couldn't imagine that, but because I have Saturn in the 5th house, this is something that I am destined to develop and master. So 5th house also rules self-confidence. So with life experience and a lot of trials and errors, I know that I am eventually be able to master self-confidence and achieve personal happiness. 5th house is also about genuine personal integrity. So I started becoming more willing to take responsibilities, to fulfill my inner child, to make myself pleased, not others, even though it was very, very, very uncomfortable to do that. Something within me kept pushing me to go into this direction, to develop my creativity and self-expression and take a center stage to reveal who I truly am. So Saturn taught me self-control, self-discipline, and persistence, consistency, and it also helped me develop strong work ethics. So I've been creating a lot of different things. I've been writing. I'm writing a book, and for those of you who are interested in astrology, I almost finished the Rising Sign series. Go to my website, you can find it, and I'm also writing music, singing, painting, and making clothes. This is one of them. I have a fashion brand as well, goldenamber.net. So what I found interesting is that all of my creative work requires a high level of discipline and organization skills, structures. It's not quite spontaneous, even though the initial phase of creativity is based in spontaneity. it requires a lot of strong work ethics. And that's how I've been able to develop self-control and self-discipline. It was through work. And another thing that I've learned is Saturn in the fifth house is about making play work. But I used to do that in another way. I used to make play as work. And that was like a pain in the butt. It was not so fun. And I took things so seriously. But as I get closer to my first Saturn return, I'm finally getting the lessons of Saturn and being more comfortable expressing myself in my unique way. So the key is to take responsibility, owning the area instead of expecting others to help me. You need to put the work. If you have Saturn in the first house, in this lifetime, you're supposed to develop self-identity and independence, self-sufficiency, and physical strength. By the way, in order to know in which house Saturn is placed, you need to know the exact birth time. And you can check it out at a lot of different websites. Astro.com is one of them. So I'm going to create another series of video about Saturn through the 12 different houses and perhaps Saturn through 12 different signs as well. Because I believe that this is such an important piece of information that you can use to increase your self-awareness and find the right career, find the perfect dream career that is aligned with who you truly are, that's aligned with your life purpose, and that is just so natural for you. So that's something that is coming up, but later down the road, because I'm working on some other projects which I'll be sharing within a month or so. So stay in tune, and I hope this is helpful. And let me know if you have any feedback. Feel free to share your experience of having Saturn in a specific house. I would love to learn about it, and have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.